Thank you for being here, Boye.
Thanks for having me. I've looked forward to this for many years. Yeah.
Wow, it's a thrill. Yeah, I was looking up your resume earlier, and it's the word that I wrote down is overwhelming.
I've been around for a while. Yeah. It takes time to build up a good result list in bridge. It takes time. So I've been around. I think the first time I played was the first sort of major event I remember was in Rhodes in 1996. We did very badly, but that was sort of my first main event with the Norwegian team.
On the open team.
On the open team, yeah. So I was very nice because I was at that time in the military, so I got to leave. So rather than being out there shooting in the woods, I could go to Rhodes and have fun. So nice.
Well, we first met thanks to Zia. My mom, God bless her, got me set up to play a tournament with Zia. And this was in 2013, we think. And Zia sent me an email. Would you like to play another event with Boye Brogeland while you're in Biarritz? And that was an easy yes.
It was fun. I really enjoyed the sort of the time we had together there. I thought it was so nice. I went to Biarritz many times during the summer. It's was such a nice just to hang out there, and then just the combination of bridge and just hanging out, enjoying life, and being with good friends and people. It's I really liked that time we had that. We also had a local coming from where I live in Flekkefjord, Kjetil Myhre, that came and played with Zia, and for him it was a 50th gift from his wife that he got to play with Zia there. So it was so nice.
And your family was there, your wife Tanya and your son Anders. Your daughter wasn't born yet. One of the things that struck me about that tournament, which I just loved it. So it was one session a day in the afternoon, and we went out to dinner every night after the game, and we would literally go through every board.
Every call. So, no, but I think if you find people that really sort of, when bridge is their passion, is not only the playing of the game, but just to go through the hands, you think, how can I get better? What happened? The fun part of it and all these things. So this is something I actually got with me already from playing in the Norwegian team. We had the same sort of, especially with Tor Helnes.
Yeah.
He was that sort of person. He liked to go through, like I said, every card. Did you play high or low there? How did you encourage this card? What count did you give? So we went through every hand when we went to all of these major events. And I think that was a big learning point for me, to go through all the hands and to really, so you don't even, you just don't practice when you play, because playing bridge is also very good practice. But we did every meal was like a great practice. And actually I was also very lucky when I started playing in the US, I played in the Rita Schubert team. And when we were four-handed, so we played all the boards. And then we had Marshall Lewis because at that time we did not have hand records for many matches. So he took notes. Every hand that was played, he wrote down. And he then photocopied us. So we went to dinner. Rita bought like a couple of bottles of red wine. And this is when we had a late start. So we started 1 o'clock to play, then went out to have dinner. Everybody got their set of photocopies of the hands. So we drank 2 bottles of red wine. And then I just drank Coke then. But the other guys, so there were more wine for them. And we went through all the hands. And then we played the evening session. And he took the same, all hands he wrote down. And he also had comments that, oh, you should have done this. Why did you do that, done that? The Marshal did. And he brought back to Rita's suite. He brought back the photocopy records of the hands. So we then looked through all the hands and probably went to bed like 2, 3 in the morning. And then up to play and won the next day. So that, for me, fantastic experience. I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Mm. What was it like then? How did you mentioned Rose in 1996? How did you find out that you were going to be on the Norwegian team?
It was a little bit lucky because there were 2 pairs that was for sure to play. I think it was like Helge Mohelnes and Grotem and O. They were for sure to play, and there was like 1 spot left. So we played almost like what we call the American Challenge. Like the better pair in the Nordic Championship would then got the chance to play in the in the Olympia, the British Olympiad. And we did a little bit better than the people we played with, so they chose us for go to Rhodes.
You played in the Nordic?
Yeah, the Nordic Championship in the summer of '96. That was sort of the first time. We knew that unless we did better than the sort of the pair that we teamed up with, we wouldn't go to Rhodes. So we had a very good tournament, and then they chose us. So, and from there on out, I've been playing for Norway since '96. I played sort of every freaking tournament Norway played for.
Everyone.
More than there was a little bit of period that there was a couple of tournaments I had said no to. Just actually around the cheating scandal, I was a little bit sort of, I lost sort of like a little bit my passion for the game for just like for a short while. And I said like no to 1 or 2 tournaments, but except that I played sort of everything. And also when Helge og Helnes, when they went to Monaco, quite a lot of Norwegian players said, maybe not so interested in playing for Norway because we won't have a chance. But I wanted to play. I just hoped that we could get lucky. Some of these events, maybe, yeah. So because we had a lot of good players in Norway, but of course when Helge og Helnes left to play for Monaco, we did not have the same team anymore.
Were you with your wife in '96 when we were kind of together at that point?
That was actually when we met, we met. She was actually dating my junior partner for a while. Yeah. So they took some time before we got together, but 1996 was sort of when we started hooking up. Yeah. So that was nice. It was actually, I think it was actually right after I think I met her. I was coming there with my suitcase because I was moving to Bergen because I was going to do my military service in Bergen, where I also studied for the previous 4 years. So I just came with my suitcase there, and I think we met up. We were going out somewhere, and we met up, and she came with me back home with my suitcase too. Yeah. So that was sort of the first time we actually met. That was right after that, '96, the autumn of '96. So, yeah.
I asked because I was wondering who the first person you told when you found out you made the open team.
I don't know if I told, I haven't told so many, because I'm not really from a bridge family. Who taught me bridge was my grandmother and grandfather. So what I remember the most about sort of telling something to someone was when I was around 20 years old, and I went to play a tournament in Norway, in Oslo, and we beat Helge og Helnes. They had a huge score, but they just couldn't beat us. And then I remember I went down to the phone booth. I was almost crying, if I remember correctly, and I phoned my grandmother and said, now we just won this tournament. Because she told me that, Boye, she said, you have to focus on your studies because you can never make a living from bridge. So she was very afraid that I would spend too much time on bridge rather than doing my studies. I went to some economic studies, and I went to a very good school in Norway, in Bergen. So, but I did spend more time studying bridge than I studied the books. Yeah.
There was a little twinkle in your eye when you said that about the your grandmother.
That was fantastic. Sort of, it's like she taught me. We play only 3-handed bridge because it was her and my grandfather and me a lot of the time. So, but I went to them as much as I could during the weekends when they love playing different games. But when they taught me bridge, I was hooked. So I tried to go to them as much as I could during the weekends to play the game, and that's how I started. And I also played in the local club with my grandfather for a starter, and then played with all the family members. And, so that's how it all got going.